Okay, here we go. Take two.
Deep in the inky graveyard, dark as the night, there among forgotten pencils, a duck takes flight. Alice math the history duck tells us forgotten tales about creators long lost in a cabinet frail. He's been putting in a mile of research. He quacked up every flock perch. This Irishman aggressively knows his stuff. He's here to share the truth without a bluff. Duckman, oh Duckman, extolling the dead. Duckman, oh Duckman, what's got in your head? Simmons, Emerson, Panther, and Ray, ancient artists surviving off of vodka and Ben Gay. Alice Mack, duck of the Indies, Malin's favorite effect. He knowledge of comics far off the old rap. He swims out of the lanes to find hidden bayous, strange creators, and obscure adult new. Duckman, oh Duckman, extolling the dead. Duckman, oh Duckman, what's got in your head? Simmons, Emerson, Panther, and Ray, ancient artists surviving off of vodka and Ben Gay. So hang with the quackers deep in the comic graves. See Alice Matt's treasures, the sort that he craves. Do you know about these guys and do you care? A Duck Lord is willing and he's got plenty to share. Duckman, oh Duckman, extolling the dead. Duckman, oh Duckman, what's got in your head? Simmons, Emerson, Panther, and Ray, ancient artists surviving off of vodka and Ben Gay. Alice Matt should be quack-gratulated. Do not mallard shun. He's busy peeking into the facts. Don't wig in him while he's hunting for snacks. For snacks. Duckman, oh Duckman, extolling the dead. Duckman, oh Duckman, what's got in your head? Simmons, Emerson, Panther, and Ray, ancient artists surviving off of vodka and Ben Gay. Alice Matt should be quack-gratulated. Do not mallard shun. He's busy peeking into the facts. Don't wig in him while he's hunting for snacks. Duckman, oh Duckman, extolling the dead. Duckman, oh Duckman, what's got in your head? Simmons, Emerson, Panther, and Ray, ancient artists surviving off of vodka and Ben Gay.
All right, take two. Take two. All right, let me see if I have to check to make sure that my settings are working on the YouTube side. So my internet just freaking. I got to be careful how I word it because I don't want to get anyone in trouble. See, now it says I'm at 360 resolution. Let me go to 720 because 360 is for the birds. Okay, so I'm back and just looking to see how it looks on the YouTube side. So it looks like I am. Resolution looks good. Looks really good. Okay, so there we go. All right, so now I gotta say hi to the chat again. So here we go. So Mike McMahon says he's back. I am back. Yes, never left, but internet is being very queer. So now I'm back. Okay. Predator wants a refund for what? I didn't even get a super chat. I can't refund you money that I have not received. Do you not see how that works? See, only I can demand money because I'm a POC. You have to give me money because that's reparations. Otherwise, you're racist. So you need to. I thought you knew this about me by now. You knew this. I can't believe I have to repeat the rules over and over again. You people don't respect me. See, if I was Todd McFarlane, you'd respect me. If I was Frank Miller, you'd respect me. If I was Rob Liefeld, you respect me. But you don't. It's me. It's Elasmat. So you don't respect me. So that's a problem. But we're all in the same community, same industry. We're people. I'm just like them in every sense of the word. Respect me. KSS to. You'd be heavily impressed with my work ethic. I am constantly working in and out, in and out. So, JV Saw says hi, hi two, hi squared. Guidance from said LOM Lamau la even. Why? I don't think I asked. I don't think I asked you for your opinion. I really did not. So you can lao and lamau all you want, but you know what? I win. Every time. I don't hate my audience, guys. You hate me, and you project your hate on me through me to the audience. That's all on you and your energy, your negative energy. I resent having to thumbs up 2 streams. Well, I'm sorry, Henry Bemis, but that's the way it goes tonight. I don't control tonight. I can only live in the night. So scroll down more. I'm gonna skip a few chats. No, 56K modem. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is the attacks that I'm talking about, and this is why I have to overcome it. This is why. This is not diverse of you, not tolerant of you. Do better, Helmut. Do better. Seriously, do better. McDonald's Wi-Fi. I stream from home, Mango. I stream from home. Matt Barr's interested. What's going on? Last one. Hail, Matt Barr. Welcome to the stream. Let's see here. Scroll down more. Scroll down more. Scroll down more. First stream was better and short and meaningless. Aha! 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 I know you did. I know you did. But guess what? I'm back. And here I am. And we are talking about. I want to put the what do you call it? The the overlay. I'm gonna try the overlay and see if it slows things down. If it slows the pixelation down. So I'm gonna try this right now. And if it seems to be okay, maybe I'll take the camera off to help it better, and then we'll go and share the screen on today's artist, Flip Fermin, a Dutch comic creator who is part of the underground comics movement. He joined in the late 60s, early 70s. So he was part of that. So it looks like I'm coming in clear, but I'm gonna take my camera off anyway because why not? Why not? Got to share my screen, right? And indulge in a little conversation about another lesser known creator of the movement of the 60s and 70s underground comics movement. This is one of his creations. This is the one he's known for, Robur. Please don't ask me to translate it because I'm not. But I don't know if you guys have been following my Twitter as of late, but I do a lot of strips now. I've been doing the Road Warrior Drake Son of Skull Kill strips. And these are the kind of things that inspire me to do it because people like a little quick read with a quick payoff. And I've been enjoying doing it. Actually, guys, this guy's not even degenerate. This is more, I don't know if I would say wholesome humor, but this is more Sunday strip type humor. So we're gonna look into this right now. I don't know how many people in the chat are acknowledging of the Netherlands. Apparently some people think the Netherlands doesn't even exist. That's the thing in this chat for some reason. You guys think the Netherlands doesn't exist. How is that my fault? I don't know. I'm just reporting on the facts. There's an anti-Netherlands sentiment in the chat. And I figured this is a perfect guy to discuss so we can be all tolerant and open and inclusive. Time to be inclusive, guys. The Dutch are humans too. Dutch and German are the same, right? I don't know. You have to ask Helmet. Helmet, are the Dutch and the Germans the same? I know you're listening, Helmet, so you have to answer this question as our token German in the chat. Are the Dutch and the Germans the same? I thought the Belgians and the Germans were the same. I'm gonna get shit for saying that. Chat, are the Belgians and the Germans the same, or are the Dutch and the Germans the same? Let's see if anybody gets that. So this is a page from Robur. Very quickly, Flip Fermin may not be a household name within the realm of Dutch underground comics, but he was nevertheless an enigmatic personality within the Amazon comic movement of the 70s and 80s. Okay, so I said 60s and 70s. It's actually the 70s and the 80s. And the 80s is where the alternative comics movement occurred. So you had the underground comics movement of the 60s and 70s, and then that transitioned into the alternative comics movement. And as I discussed in earlier streams, the alternative comics movement was a bit more punk style. See, the underground was a bit more sexual, maybe a little violent, but the 80s was a bit more grunge style, probably graphic violence maybe was more of its key, more of its trait. So not less on the sex and more on the graphic violence probably. My good friend Massive Panda, he says, this may be negligible, but allows me. How do you feel about those square type text bubbles versus standard ovals? Yay or nay, doesn't really matter to you. So I'm actually a fan of the square bubbles. And I don't know if, and the thing you're going to see, Massive Panda, because I know you backed Beast, Citizen Road Warrior Drake. I use a lot of those square type bubbles in my panels. I use a few ovals, But I find with the square type bubbles, it it just covers the words better, and it helps integrate the words better into the picture. It just makes it to me more aesthetically pleasing. It just adds it's like it has more form, I think. So I found I preferred it more that way. Once I started using it, I'm like, yeah, this is the way to go. It just formats the words better, and it kind of gives it some kind of order and organization for me. Mango says, well, Rutger Hauer is from the Netherlands, same as Paul Verhoeven. Both legends, even though one is a raving liberal, but still he did produce some good movies, so you got to give him that. Helmut says the Dutch are mentally challenged Germans. At least their language sounds like that, but pretty nice people and wonderful landscape. Well, there's a glowing review by Helmut about the Dutch. So, oh wait, I didn't say hi to my girl. Wait a minute. I didn't say hi to my girl. Wait, where's she at? Georgina Floyd. Georgina Floyd. She says, "Hail the chat," and she just oozes desire with that. Just have to take a minute. Anyway, KSS says, "Are the Dutch and the Germans the same?" Look at World War II. I know. Oh, leave me alone. I can do that. I'm allowed. Um, go back to here. Go back to down to the further in the chat. Dutch is like 2/3 German, 1/3 English. It's like a heavy Northern German accent. Okay, well, see, this is something new for me, and I'm learning. I notice you see a lot more square bubble type text bubbles in older comics. You will especially see it with comics like Fletcher Hanks, who we one of the earlier streams, and in some of his panels he has those. I'm not against oval word bubbles or circular word bubbles, but I think the circular kind of the rectangular or the square, it just helps integrate the words better visually. But that's a personal preference for me. That's not some kind of like oh, it must be done this way. It's a personal preference. My Oma described the Dutch soldiers during World War II. She said they were a bunch of sissies weirdos with long hair, like a bunch of hippies. There you go. That does not sound like an encouraging word of endorsement. But this is encouraging. Blowing me a kiss by the great Georgina Floyd. Oz Great says there's only two things I hate in this world: people who are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch. Yep, checks out. Absolutely checks out. I don't know why I read it, but it checks out. But yes, Flip Fermin was a Dutch, and one of the lesser known Dutch. But it's funny because when we talk about other countries, other cultures that were a part of some form of underground comics movement, or not some, but they were either part of the underground movement or the alternative movement, and how they put some kind of influence or a mark on their respective culture. Germany and South America are obvious examples, but and even France is an obvious example. But we don't read too much about the Dutch and their contributions, especially someone like Flip Fermin. Quickly on his background, so he started with let's see here, just checking down here. Oh, so this is when I was reading this is what caught my eye. So he was influenced by guys like George Herriman and Basil Overton. These are guys that I talked about in my earlier streams. And I was thinking when I read this part, just like I did with Tomohiro One, the creator of One Punch Man, just like I did with him, I'm gonna go back and revisit some of these older outliers, and the more I learn about them, the more I want to do streams that are more informative. So and I'll be downloading like older streams and then deleting them, but using those streams as content for short form videos, because there's a lot of content material that I think should be seen by more people. So I was thinking about that earlier today, and I'm like, that's going to be the route I go. So at some point, I'll be doing return streams to some of these outliers, but with more information, more examples that we can learn, because their work really does speak for themselves. Their legacy speaks for themselves. Here's an example from Honeyman. This is one of his strips. Oh, look, you can click it. And this actually looks better than Let me remove the overlay so you guys can see the strip. Where's the overlay? Here we go. Okay, so there you go. So There is a one. And by the way, don't ask me to interpret this. I can't. I don't know. But just pay attention to the art. And again, look how the text is integrated into the art. And this is what I like. This is how like it just says fun. You know, when text can be removed from a static position, it becomes part of the art and it becomes visually becomes fun. And I think there isn't much experimentation in text and letters or lettering in comics as of late because it's all static. And not to say that I did anything influential or dynamic with Beast, Citizen, Road Warrior, Drake, but I tried to do some slight experimenting here or there, but not much, and I feel like I should have, and I'll probably do for future books. But this is an example of what I like. It's just fun to look at, and it's also positioned where you can very easily follow the order of the words as you're reading it, provided you can read Dutch. Osgrade says his best comic strip is Calvin and Hobbes. It's a very influential strip, and one day, once I've completed my Garfield collection and I can get to my Peanuts collection, then I'll probably look into Calvin and Hobbes. But I still have to finish my Popeye collection too. I would do that. So Henry Beeman says, I like that. I like it at that. I like it at that. Yes. We need more vomiting and I know of course Mango would say this. Of course he would say he need more vomiting in comics. Of course he would. We can't have a normal comic review, right, Mango? We can't have a normal comic review because you gotta come in here all degenerate and shit, right? Damn it. No square bubbles here. Not a fan. Like I said, it's a personal preference for me. I'm not saying that you should do it if you're a creator. I'm just saying for me, it's a personal preference. But I'll still use like square or oval circles once in a while where it's appropriate. What am I thinking? We're talking art, says KSS. I must change my avatar to my art. Yes, this is masterful, KSS. I cannot go a stream without you typing and having that avatar there because that avatar completes me. It validates me. KSS, remember that. Always remember that. It completes me. Every time, every day. So, let's see. KSS says, oh, I just read that. Okay. The vomit panel is great. Haha, so over the top. I suppose. I'm not a fan of vomiting, for obvious reasons. I'm just not. But I got me into it with the Garfield kids trading cards. So yeah, I suppose. But but yeah, these comics and the way they're drawn, that is the key massive panel. They are over the top, and that's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun, and sometimes people let realism in comics limit their visual storytelling and limit the appeal. They forget that these books are supposed to be fun, entertaining, and fun. So you can exaggerate. I think making it too realistic. And again, I go back to what Jesse from Pod Awful said, and he was right. The more realistic a comic looks, the more it sucks. And I think the sentiment from you guys in the chat is the exaggerated poses, the exaggerated expressions, and the actions makes it entertaining and fun. That's the point. This is part of the method, part of the madness in what I do. Helmut says the most famous Dutch cartoon series was created by a guy named Herman van Veen. You should look into it. I'm sure you'll like that topic of that cartoon. Herman van Veen. Let me go ahead and put this in my list. Let's see. Herman van Veen. I had Flip Fermin and Maya Matches in my list for Dutch artists. So that's another one I'll add in there. So there we go. Okay. Osprey says, justice for Mango. No. Not on my stream. I'm the POC here. Justice for me. Justice for me. I actually don't think I ever saw a Square Bubbles in a comic before this guy. It's not common. But again, you'll see it in Fletcher Hanks' comics. And I think, since I got my lever, let me see if I have it here. Hold on. I believe it's in my... Okay, so you'll see, to a certain extent, and I'm looking at it, to a certain extent. It's not prevalent. But yeah, I see some examples of it in my Tales from the Crypt. As a matter of fact, let me enlarge my screen for a second. So here's a page from the Tales from the Crypt, right? Actually, I'll use the other camera because it's more high definition. So that way it'll be easier to aim it at you people. So HS, here we go. Okay, so you'll see at the bottom of this page, it uses square bubbles, right? And it's not throughout the book. It's only in a couple panels, but it is a technique that's used. It helps to keep the words contained, so it doesn't cover too much of the image. But yeah, EC Comics employs here. It actually employs it in the next page too. See what I'm talking about? Let me see. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah. So again, yeah, just another example of it. Let me just make sure that my chat is okay. So it looks like it's. Oh wait, no, is it doing that thing? Yeah, it's doing that thing. Hold on. Okay, well, it is. It's doing that thing. Okay, but you guys, from what I was able to see, it looks like it came out. Okay, so back to my outline. Here we go. Okay, so it is a technique that other comics have employed, and to me, it's a stylistic choice. So I don't think it's something that you must do, but I it's a personal preference. Did you say peanuts or peanut? Okay, SS, you know what I meant. You know what I meant. Damn it. You know what I meant. Oh, look who's here. Look who's here throwing tables in my chat. Damn it, Carol. I'm trying to be serious. I'm here talking about Flip Fermin, and you're here throwing tables in my chat. Why? Why? I was showing an example of word balloons shaped like squares, and I took some examples from EC Comics, Tales from the Crypt. So I was trying to be relevant, and you have to do this and disrupt my chat, derail it with violence. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. But then again, that's what you do. That's what you do. Paul says DG streaming over you, but I left your link in the chat. We've been streaming over each other the last couple of streams, but it's fine because I think some people will split and others just come here, so it's fine. No biggie. And that's why I keep my streams at a certain length because for replay value. So if I keep it under 2 hours, people will come back and they'll check it out. At the very least, they'll give it some more time and gain a little information from it. Some of those old EC Square had square balloons. Yeah, Henry, I'm glad you noticed that. Yeah, exactly. They did. And I used quite a bit of it in Beast Citizen Road Warrior Drake. So yeah. But it's a stylistic choice. It's not something that you must do as a creator. It's a preference for me. I like it. It allows for unique, fun patterns and positions when it comes to lettering. We need Tales from the Crypt stream, including all media connected with it. I don't know. Maybe some people will talk about it. It's not something that would be in the Indie Comic Outliers stream because even though it was outside the mainstream, it became the mainstream. So, because a lot of great artists that were part of the mainstream worked on those books, so I wouldn't consider it part of that. But it is something that should have its own stream or set of streams. Yeah, I'm trying to catch up on the EC stuff. I have some books I have to still buy because I've been not just buying Tales from the Crypt, but also like the Vault of Horror, the Haunt of Fear as well. And they also have like a lot of the mystery series and the sci-fi series. So there's a lot of EC I have to collect. I'm wearing my professional. Well, if I'm going to be on camera, guy in his room, I should dress the part. So yeah, I am. I absolutely must wear my best. So it's important because if I'm going to be on camera and I'm a man, I gotta look my part and look my best and be sharp. That's just my personal opinion. But getting back to this is one of Flip Fermin's comics as we analyze it. Scrolling down in the chat more. So I see Paulus Arts in the chat. Hail, Paulus. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, this is an example of one of his books. But I was saying before that he was influenced by guys like Basil Wolverton and Robert Arkrom, Gilbert Shelton, who we've talked about. And these are some other guys, Hergé and Edgar Pierre Jacobs. So I'm going to be looking into those guys for future streams. And the list keeps growing, and I'm glad because that means we have more content for future streams. And why not? Because why not? Because fuck you, that's why. Anyway, save that there. So clearly he was influenced by some guys in the underground comics movement. And that led him to be one of the leaders in the Dutch comic scene. and he was in a magazine, Tante Lene Presente. So the Dutch had their own comic magazine similar to Weirdo and Arcade, and it was called Tante Lene Presentiert. I should do an Outlier stream one day on just the comic magazines and go over those magazines, because I touched on those briefly in the when the Culture War hit those Pretty Pictures documentary. So I touched on those briefly, and I think they need their own stream, just because it's fun. It's a nice fun into history, and these are things that, if you're a indie comic fan and you're not aware of this stuff outside of Comicsgate, it's important to know this, because this is really going to help shape your understanding of indie comics and how it should be and what it should have been about, which is the characters, the comics, the works themselves. Henry Beeman says, the controversial opinion, the best storyteller at EC was Johnny Craig. Okay, well, there you go. That's Henry Bemis. That's his contribution to tonight's chat. Goddardson says, if he feels like a man that day, someday he's just different. Oh, you know what? Screw you! Screw you! Screw you! And then this one too. Screw her too. If you're going to be a man, yes, meaning if I'm going to act like a man, okay? I know I'm a man, but meaning if I act like a man, if I'm going to present myself as a true and proper man, I need to dress the part and not be a bum. How about that? How about not be a bum? Because people always want to put me in a box and call me a bum. I'm not a bum. I'm a man. I'm a proper man. I'm a warrior man. I'm a made man. I'm a king man. What, me worry? Says Oz Great Sage. Absolutely not. Do not worry. Absolutely do not worry. So as we continue on to the journey. So the Amsterdam comic scene. So like Paris had their own scene, and the Dutch had their own scene. And it talks about stores like Keys Cruise Makers. That's we're gonna look at. Let's just look into that, because this is highlighted. Let's look into this. Let's see here. Okay, so this is one of the stores that Flip Fermin had his stuff in. Keys Q Maker. So this was a Dutch comic store owner and a comic scholar. So he opened a store called Lambiek, which is funny because that's the name of the website that we often refer to here. But Lambiek was the first comic shop in Europe and one of the oldest on the continent. So there you go. So the first comic shop in Europe. You guys in the chat that are, you're international, that are European. What are your thoughts on that? I want to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts about Keys Koosmaker? Let me see what you guys in the chat who are in the international scene have to say about it. I'm curious to hear your opinions on that. Let's see. No, I'm not reading your insults at me. Okay, this is not about you. This is my time. This is me time. KSS says, did you call Henry Bemis penis? Henry Penis? The hell's wrong with... What is your obsession with penis on it, KSS? The hell's your obsession? I know about Henry Bemis. That was one of the most tragic episodes in the entire series. Played by the great Burgess Meredith. I know what that's about. Manga says, I only care for manga as barely European. So then this question wasn't for you. How about that? How about let those that the question was for answer it, Mango? Gosh, what is it derail with your degeneracy all the time? Now all of a sudden, all the Europeans in the chat are quiet. I couldn't get you guys to shut up for a minute. Now you're quiet. Now you're quiet. I have European DNA somewhere. My take is at least it isn't allowed. You know what? You're banned. You're banned. Goodbye. You're banned. You're banned. Done. Guys, Guy Nazum is now banned from the chat. He can no longer chat. So he's banned. So if you see him chatting, don't reply to him. He's persona non grata here. So do not reply to him. Do not respond to him. Don't even acknowledge what he says. He's banned. So that is the official decree of this channel. So we must adhere to the terms and services. Do not reply to anything he says. He's now officially banned. So since some of my European members of the chat are now saying anything, because now they decided to not talk, I guess I'll never know what you all think about Keys Koosmaker. So that's fine. That's okay. Listen, I get it. I get it. I don't take it personal. I understand. I'm not canceling you, Carol. I'm protecting this community from these personal vicious attacks. Okay? I am. And I can do that because I'm an advocate for the voiceless. And your voice is too loud with the tables. So I will advocate against you. Helmut says, I'm German, not European. Wait, is this true? Are Germans not European? Did I miss something? I thought there was Europe. Oh, wait. Are you guys Asian? Is that what it is? Are you Asian? Did I miss a social political shift in world politics, in world geography? I must have missed that. This is pressing news. I have to get to the bottom of this. You know, guys, I'm sorry, but I don't acknowledge you. I told you you're banned. You're banned. So you can't be typing in the chat no more. You're banned. I'm not canceling her cancers. This is not about me canceling nobody. I'm trying to run a stream, and you're trying to stand up for a woman that's violent and vicious. No, you're mean to me. You're mean to. You come into the chat, you're derailing it. You're mean to me. I did nothing to you. Oh wait, am I supposed to be talking about Flip Fermin? I am. I am supposed to be talking about Flip Fermin. This is from Die Vagabunden. This is another one of his comics, which I can't click. So we'll go to this page here so you can see it in its entirety. So it looks like they're Hasids, but they're not Hasids. They're something. I don't know what they are, but they're there. And again, don't ask me to translate it. Just admire the art, the pretty pictures. Nice visual storytelling. So I'm learning from this type of art so I can make my Road Warrior Drake Son of Skullkill strips pretty fun and entertaining. I know I'm not okay. Again, I'm not reading your comments, guys, because you're banned. You're banned. So goodbye. You're banned. The correct term is Aryan. Okay, so you're not a European. You're an Aryan. Okay, so Germans are Aryans, not Europeans. So there you go, guys. So I can't ask Helmut. I got to ask everyone else who's a European in my chat. What are your thoughts on the Kusmiger comic shop? Mango says I'm Eurasian. Oh, then stop responding. I'm talking to the Europeans. You're just you're on the fence. You're a fence sitter. You're an ethnic fence sitter. So you shouldn't be responding to that question. Why do you do this? Why do you derail the chat and do a topic of conversation? If you want to stay ethnically fenced, then do so. But don't come in my chat and derail it when I'm asking a serious question to everyone else who is not an Aryan but a European. House under house. Okay, again, I'm not. I'm responding to the I guess there are no Europeans in my chat. That's right, guy. Nobody can read to see this because you're banned. So now you're figuring it out. Good job. Exactly. So, guys, this is what it means to be banned. You cannot reply to him or even acknowledge him. He's banned. So there you go. Who's a peon? European. Europe. Okay. We're going to start over. Okay. We're going to start over. And I know it looks like I am buffering again. So I guess we'll go back to 360. Let's see if it works better. Because I need to really I need to address you guys because yeah, it ain't working again. So my camera's off. There we go. Okay, fuck it. I don't care. I try to be serious, but you guys don't care. So I guess I have to just deal with it, right? No, there's nothing behind me, Carol. Nothing. You wish. It's my library. It's just my library. We don't call it Netherlands. Proper term is Nether Regions, KSSS. That doesn't answer my question. My stream was like analog horror. Actually, I like analog horror. I spent one night, hours looking up analog horror stuff because I found the Godzilla analog horror videos, and I'm like, oh, this shit's kind of spooky. So I did some deep dives on analog horror videos, and man, that's peak YouTube. The analog horror stuff, the creepypasta stuff, things like the back rooms, and I know we're kind of deviating a bit from the topic, but that's peak YouTube. So guy, you're banned, so that comment is irrelevant. Wait, so where is Holland, and who the hell are the Dutch? I'm starting to enter some very hurt feelings in this chat for some reason. I don't know. I feel like there's some deep sentiments here, resentment even. I have to scroll down a little bit more to the chat. Okay, I think I'm good. All right, so another one of his strips here by this is what is Die Vagabunden. So it looks like according to this, Flip Fermin's body of work was only limited to a handful of finished comic stories. So he's only done a few finished work, and that is not uncommon with indie creators, and especially in a scene where real work takes over. I think about someone like Tomohiro, aka One, who wouldn't have gone back to doing One Punch Man if it wasn't for the artist that took over for him. Or no, he didn't take over for him. He went back and redid his older comics because One is still drawing to this day. And if you look at that first stream I did with him and what he's done recently, it's pretty good looking and dynamic. I don't care if the line art is not polished. It visually tells the story pretty well, and it's very dynamic. But Fermin is known for doing anthropomorphic birds. That seems to be his thing. But yeah, he was one of the lesser known of the underground comics artists, and he also printed stories in children's magazines. So he got noticed by the younger crowd. And I've always said this: like, if you get your work noticed with the younger crowd, it just extends the lifespan of your legacy, of your created stories and your characters. Because if you're just creating for middle-aged men, well, very short lifespan. But yeah, I want to look more into the Robert and Pennekamp comics. So let's find those. I'm gonna look for those, Robert and Pennekamp, and let's look at some of the artwork there. And as we're doing that, it will be helpful if you find people who throw me a super chat or two, because I deserve it. I'm worth it. I'm like Maybelline. I'm worth it, and you guys know this. And I don't think it's I don't think that it's out of the ordinary to get that kind of recognition. But if you guys disagree, then I don't know what to tell you. But I think I'm worth it. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, and I guess learning about the Couscous maker and his comic shop Lambiek. So let's see. What's this? Okay, this is Comic Web. Let's see if it has some examples of Robert and Pennekamp. Oh, you got to translate too. So I'm going to translate in English, so we're not looking at Dutch. So we're going to actually see what's going on. Page is loading. Right? Is it loading? I guess it's not loading. Huh. I guess not. Okay. So yeah, you really got to dig into this to find. And by the way, when you hit the Google search, it only shows up for 3 pages of results. 3 pages. So that's how hard it is to find some of this stuff. And this is part of why, and something I didn't think about, the importance of streams like this is really preserving the legacy of some of these lesser known artists. Because if all this guy got was 3 pages of search results, then it's probably extremely difficult to find his stuff. And that's what I'm noticing here is how extremely difficult it is to look for his stuff. So let's see here. Let me see this page here. Let me translate this in English. Oh, it says it can't be translated. Well, screw you then. Screw you. How about that? Screw you. Okay. Yeah, so it is really, yeah, it's really difficult to find his stuff. I'm on the third search page right now, the third and final page, and yeah, there's nothing there. So yeah, this is one of those works that's probably lost to time. You know, and it's kind of a tragic when you think about it. So here's this page right here. Is that some examples of his artwork? So let's take a look at some of Flip Fermin stuff. This is a page he penciled right here. So let's go to that. Little graphic violence. This is synonymous with the underground, not the underground, the alternative comics movement. He did a lot of the graphic violence stuff. So, very competent artist for sure. Let's try this one here. This piece right here. This is another one that Flip Fermin penciled. This one looks a little bit more fun. These look like doodles. Like if you're in school and you're just bored in class and you have your notebook open and you start doodling. That's what this reminds me of. That little Art Spiegelman there. Yeah, this is Mouse, I think. Art Spiegelman's Mouse. There you go. Oh, yeah. Okay. Maybe not, but still, like he drew a Mickey Mouse as a Nazi. So let's try this one here. This one is another. The one that Fermin penciled. There we go. And the signature is similar in design to someone like Will Eisner's. Like the fun coloring in this one. This is pretty fun looking with the coloring. What do you guys in the chat have to say? Let me go to the chat for a second. So let me see here. Scroll up. Okay. Let's see here. Scroll up the chat. Okay. You got into YouTube analog horror stuff. Some of that is actually pretty solid. It is. It's a nice deep dive. And it's a great way. See, because everything is so exposed now and so connected online. And you kind of miss the fun of mystery and just like shit that's unexplainable on the internet. Back in the early 2000s, the creepypastas were big in the forums, and part of the spookiness of it was that it was so realistic, and you were like, is this real or not? And you kind of missed that. And then like, but the analog horror stuff is kind of close to it now. It's a great way to use the YouTube medium, the video medium, to like create that creepypasta feeling. It does really good. And I had no clue that anyone could make Godzilla spooky or creepy, but they sure as hell did it. Especially when they take it from like Godzilla Raids Again. Like that Godzilla suit. Honestly, that face is kind of creepy looking. It was a good job by the creators at Toho making that suit kind of creepy, but it took YouTube creators decades later to make it into analog horror to really make it look spooky, make it very spooky. So, yes, and while you're here, don't forget to back Beast Citizen Road Warrior Drake. Murata is great, says Oz Great Sage. Yeah, I mean, he obviously helped resuscitate the One Punch Man series. And remember, like, people tend to forget, yeah, he's a better artist line art wise than One, but he was a fan of One. He was a fan of the story. He was a fan of One Punch Man. So that goes to show that the style of the art is secondary to the story you're telling as a comic creator. That's the thing that they don't want you to know in these indie comic circles. That's the thing they don't want you to be aware of in Comicsgate is the story. The art is secondary to the story. So you could put or spend hours or days on a page, but if the story's mid, then your art's wasted. And that's just the reality of comics. Comics are a disposable medium. So you buy a floppy in the shop, and it's like, meh, it goes in the garbage. The art could be great, but the story sucks. That comic is probably gonna end up in the trash. And all those hours, months spent on that one book for what? For a few seconds of recognition and then dumped in the trash? That's not legacy. Not by a long shot. Not by a long shot. JV Style says importing that car from Japan was cheaper than what I paid for shipping my CG books over the last couple of years. It's gonna get hard now. I mean, I know it only affects China per se, but those tariffs, it's gonna be interesting how the indie comic scene moves or adapts with those. And I got shit for telling people make relationships with your local printer and start doing business with them. And maybe I should have clarified my statement regarding local printers. I'm not saying that the print shop across the street or around the corner has to be your only go-to. Like when I say local, I guess I mean like within the region. Even if you go out of state, it's still in the United States. So that's those are your options. But you're still feeding the United States economy, which is the point of these tariffs, is helping our businesses here grow. So if you get a better deal, say across state lines, then definitely do it. You're still going along with the plan. So, but the days of going overseas, we do have to help our economy. So let's see here. Oh, we have Bear to chat. We have a Bear. He says, "Hey guys, shut up, how's it going? Have you got over Mickey misgendering you the other night?" I don't even pay attention to it. The same way that Eric July doesn't pay attention to EBS, I don't pay attention to people that really don't have much influence. Because at the end of the day, it's about what I said in the documentary, not about what I say afterwards, and that's where the focus is going to go. Andrew Curry says, "Good evening, hello, Angel. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you here. That's great that you're here. Awesome. I dig it," says Massive Panda. "These illustrations remind me of the stuff that would have gotten me in trouble in school by butthurt teachers." Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like his other artwork reminded me of like those doodles I would do in school. I'm sitting in class and the teacher's teaching something that I probably would not remember in a few years, and I just started doodling in my notebook. And I wish I kept some of those doodles because they were pretty good and very dynamic. Probably would have made a good sketchbook, but who knows, right? So why does this Dutch guy give everyone penis nose? The hell's wrong with this degenerate guy? What are you, Mango? Why can't you just let him be? Let this guy be. He's clearly doing some innocent cartoons. You don't got to put degeneracy into everything he does. Grow up. This is not how we run the show, KSS. You're better than this. You're the emperor. You're the king. Well, not with that avatar. That's not happening. No. Get back to your original avatar. That's Emperor KSS. Angela Curry says, "I finally got Vatican City, but can't decide if I want to open it. I'm torn." This is why some people buy two copies. They buy the one to read and one to keep preserved. All right, some people will buy a PDF, although I don't think a PDF option was offered to Dark Horse, so that may not be relevant. So, but yeah, I get the struggle because guess what? I bought a floppy, and I showed you guys the floppy. Let me up my camera for a second, and I'll use the HP. And I'm doing this again. Let's try it. So I bought this, right? And I had not opened it yet. And I should, because I didn't really buy it just to preserve it. I wanted to read it. And this was like $5, this thing. Like a floppy that costs $5, like that's unheard of. I remember I used to have to pay like $1 and change for a floppy. Now I got to pay $5. It's weird. But I haven't opened it yet. So I understand the struggle. Trust me, I get it. I totally get it. So where we at with that. But shout out to Carol. I mean to Angela. Not to Carol, to Angela. Angela. I said Angela. Shout out to Angela Curry. Angela Curry. Shout out to Angela Curry. So there you go. My chat's great. KS says, "I changed my avatar to print art since we're talking art. Kirby likes it." Okay, but Kirby's not running the stream. I'm running the stream. The other avatar was your peak avatar. Tariffs will still be 300%. Pure madness. Let's see where this goes. Yeah, I mean, listen. If it means being without our tchotchkes for a year, I guess, or more, so be it. I'd rather have affordable food and housing than tchotchkes. I survived without tchotchkes. And I got enough tchotchkes to like last me a lifetime. So I don't care about building a mass collection and continuing buying. I'm good. Wait, who called me a girl? Wait, who called me a girl? Who called me a girl? Oh wait, you talking about me misgender? Oh no, never mind. Wait, okay, but that's not my name, Bear. I mean, Oscar Sage. That's not my name. That's not my. Okay, who is this guy and why is he in my chat? Ban this guy right now. Ban him. He's okay. No, he's banned. He's banned. He doesn't exist. A last man account. You're banned. You're banned. Just like guy in this room, you're both banned. So I don't acknowledge you no more. Tim Olson's in the chat. It's fair to say you couldn't cover anything in the doc. Couldn't cover everything in the doc. Oh, absolutely not. I can't cover everything in that documentary. I mean, it's a lot of side stories, a lot of other stuff, but you can only cover so much, and nobody's going to stay for every single detail. There's enough to say, yeah, this thing is shipwrecked. So, see, guys that are banned stick together. So here's a guy in his room who's banned, replying to the last man who's banned. So let them talk to each other because they're banned. They don't get to contribute to this conversation because they're banned, and I keep them banned. I got in trouble for a lot of the doodles I did. You know, I never got in trouble for any of my doodles. I was kind of stealthy when it came to that. That and I sat in the back of the class, so they didn't see me do the doodle. So crack that comic and read it. At some point I will, Henry. I think I will at some point. So at some point I will. Let me skip a few chats. Master Panda says, by the way, last man, since we're on the subject, I got a copy of Vatican City. I also got my copy of the Santos Sisters in the mail haven. Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, I got get some more comics. Collective comics, of course. So I am behind 87 peep chats. Hold on. Let's see. Shout out to the 20 people that are watching. Hail to the 20 that are watching. KSS says, yeah, he's back. Okay, great. That's the avatar. As King of the Slums and Slums 2, I see what you're trying to do, JD Kirby. Nice try. You cannot ban oh, wait. Last May's banned, and so is a guy in his room. Why are they still typing? Oh, wait, they can type to each other, but we cannot see them typing. They cannot be I feel like ban is a state of mind. Well, that's why this works. That's how this works. So by decree of my decree, they're banned. So there you go. So even if you see them typing in the chat, you can't see them typing. So I am not skipping chat. I'm trying to catch up. And besides, I have monetization now. So why don't you guys super chat me 50 cents or something? 10 cents or something, please. Anything, 2 cents. A penny. Fuck it. I don't care. I'm not skipping chat. I just have to catch up because if I don't catch up, I'll be streaming till 11 o'clock tonight, and I don't want to stream till 11. Lurking and jerking. Those are my therapy dogs, Carol. My therapy dogs. Don't you put your lips on them. Ever. Was it planned to have my dogs in the documentary? My dogs didn't appear in the documentary. If you talk about that clip that they say is my dogs, no, that was in one of the clips that was used. See, when I did narration for the documentary, wherever there was a narration, I didn't use that audio track. So no, they weren't in there. That was on whoever was that segment was about. It was in their audio. The sequel book, Street Fighter Blake Creature Citizen. Sounds like a trauma movie. I'll allow it. Sure, why not? I'm not about the money. I'm about justice, Bear. Justice and activism. And those things ain't cheap. Okay? So I have to be an activist because when you got guys like this account here that's banned, that's obviously banned, you got to fight against it, and it costs money. So I have to fight a culture war. And I can't fight a culture war without weapons, and weapons ain't cheap. So you guys have to help me fight the war. To war. So there you go. Wait, we're supposed to go back to Flip Fermin. But ideally, this exposes a problem because there isn't much artwork available on Fermin. Again, because he didn't create complete works. Not many. And you can probably say it's tragic. I think it's kind of tragic. Here's another one of his works here. This is from the Tente Lenny Exposiert. That's from the magazine, much like Arcade was. We go back here. Let's look at this one. This looks pretty fun. Oh, look at that. A little wimpy. Definitely some EC Seeger influence there. This is a lesson that if you have doodles you draw, maybe you should save those doodles because you can make a killing on those. Like if you get big or you become a name in the comic scene, you can do either art books or sell them on conventions and beautifully framed. Just a thought with a Flip Fermin. Pinocchio. I mean, could be. I mean, I don't read Dutch, so I can't tell if that's supposed to be Pinocchio, but it looks a lot like Wimpy from Popeye. Yeah, Popeye. Yeah, well, not the Goons, but definitely Wimpy for sure. So yeah, I definitely see the Wimpy influence there. The Dutch language is like if everyone was dyslexic. That felt like an attack. That really felt like an attack. Not that I'm taking it as personal, but I just felt like there was an attack there. But I see what you mean. Like I look at the Dutch language and I feel like it's English with extra letters thrown into it to really confuse people reading it. That's what it feels like when I look at Dutch. Maybe I'm alone in that sentiment, but that's kind of what it looks like. And no, I'm not saying that the Dutch are wrong or anything. I'm just saying that's what it appears to me. I find it to be visually a weird looking language, but I speak as a gringo, so don't take my sentiment as fact. More penciling by Flip Fermin. Let's open this in a new tab, just because it'll help me with the searching. But yeah, there isn't much in the way of his other comics, especially his main one. It's definitely tragic in that sense, because these are the kind of things that will not get re-released in printed editions, and the only way you're gonna ever see these kind of things is online in some websites that will at least showcase some of the work. So it's kind of so it is kind of tragic, and I'm very sad about that. But at the very least, we can have that conversation here. And for some of you that have not been exposed to someone like Fermin, it's good to have a little bit of conversation and to get a sense of it. So let's see here. I'm looking at some other stuff. Yeah, Fermin was a contributor to a series of Dutch Mickey Mouse inspired comics. Now, I can't tell if this is his work. He's listed as one of the artists in this book, but I don't think this is his work here. But he's one of the artists in this book. Beautifully racist, by the way. But yes, I'm not sure if this is his, but it is. He is named as one of the artists in that book. So let me get back to this here. But I'm guessing that finding a long catalog of his visual work is going to be futile. So we'll just have to chalk it up to we'll have to work with what we got when it comes to talking about his stuff here. But here is a bulletin for Lambic, the comic shop that he did. This is his work here. Right there. That's one of his works. Very loose with his pens, but it's fun. It's totally fun. And I'm sure he spent hours doing the little stipples, but personally, I love stipples. I love doing stipples. That's something that some people look at me and like, how do you spend hours on stipples? But I love stippling. And yeah, it takes great patience, but it creates something so beautiful, and that's worth it for me. It just makes it all worth it. I had this one comment highlighted for so long. Yeah, Tim also says, save your doodles, everyone. Totally. This guy's great grandson should be licking sloshy. I don't know what that means, but okay, I'll guess it means something. Sure, why not? Oh wait, no, okay. You're talking about that artwork that Felsbug drew because that caricature of Ethan had that big nose. Is that what you're talking about? Because big noses existed before that. Not everything has to be tied to our little silly circle. It doesn't have to. Stippling Vaughn loves stippling too. Well, that's probably why he calls himself Stippling Vaughn. But yes, I enjoy stippling, and I had I no longer do it, but I had like a 36 by 48 drawing that I did back in college of a boutique of flowers and fruits that was done entirely with stipple. It was one of my biggest masterpieces, which I don't know where it happened to it over the years, but it's gone. So yeah, beautifully gone. So yes, Henry Beavis, I know, I get it, I absolutely get it. But here's the thing: big noses existed. That's why it's always existed. It'll continue to exist because it's a thing. It's something that does, is, and always will be, and it has been. And so what? There you go. Fine, right? Absolutely. So there you go. Okay, so um, scroll down more. Let's see if we can find a little bit more of some of his stuff. This is a 1985 New Year's card. And remember, we read that he likes drawing anthropomorphic birds. And again, don't ask me to translate this because I don't know what the hell this is being said here. But some fun art. Definitely like the art. Mazepin says, "Man, you got some patience to be for stippling or tons of cross hatching. I haven't really attempted that type of thing since art classes in high school and college. Um, it's not for everyone, and yeah, you really have to be into it to want to do it. You have to really have that patience to do it. It's not for everyone, but I definitely love doing it. And one of the gifts that I gave my wife Stephanie on our wedding day was a stippled drawing of a portrait of her, and I still have that portrait in the glass case here in my living room area as a memorial to her. So, one of the last pieces of stippling I've ever done, but I do want to get back. I want to do maybe one piece of stippling that I want to draw for the convention, the Heroes Con convention, so I can sell it. So I may do that. As a matter of fact, I may do a Born Community draw stream where I draw a Road Warrior Drake piece, and maybe I'll ink it with stipple. That's not a bad idea. I think I may do that. Maybe I'll do it Saturday. We'll see. We'll see. Rebecca Romaine is Dutch. Oh, she's an amazing Dutch. She's just quite the specimen. Do I know who Stippling Vaughn is? I've heard the name, but I've not seen his stuff. So I only know for JCVD. That's John Van Claude Damp. I know I said it wrong and purposely. And Anderlecht from Belgium. That's it. Van Dam is a very famous Dutch. I appointed myself the explainer of chat jokes from here on out, and that's a great position. And yes, I authorize it and I endorse it, Henry. So welcome our new chat joke explainer, guys, in the chat, Henry Bemis. So Henry Bemis, okay. So okay, skipping more chats. Let's see here. I'm guessing at least the chat knows him, but not a Lasmat. Sad. I don't know what that means. Hey, Woodrow's here. He says, "Hail the chat. Hail Woodrow. Welcome." Was this the inspiration for Road Warrior Drake? No, it was not. It was absolutely not. Tim, how do you see the inspiration? Okay, let's have a conversation, Tim. Where do you see the inspiration for Road Warrior Drake here? Like I don't see it. I fail to see it. Maybe I'm short-sighted, but I fail to see it. This is completely insulting, Tim. You should know better. You're one of the elites here. You should know better than that. I see now I'm off my game. Thanks a lot, Tim. I held you in such high esteem. Humongously high esteem, but it's not cool. Like, how did you get Road Warrior Drake from this picture? It has so what if it has a doesn't mean anything, Carol? I mean Angela. See, you're all the same because you say the same thing and try. So now I have to call a Carol Angela Carol. This is fucked up. This really is. Totally fucked up. And you guys did this to me. Not right. If I'm Kay Johnson, you mean? Yeah, she is MILF. She's absolutely MILF, totally. But no, this is not right. Yeah, you guys really birds have okay. So what? So do platypuses. Platypuses have beaks. Some dinosaurs have beaks, and they're not birds. They're not birds. They're not birds. So I'm so glad I confused you. See, now it's my turn. Now it's my turn. Slandering Carol by calling her Angela. What, you saying Angela's not good? Is that what you're saying, Bear? I think you're slandering Angela. Bear. I think you're slandering Angela. So we have a war in the chat now because you guys wanted to take it personal, but now I found a way to make it go against you guys. See, now there's gonna be a civil war in the chat because you couldn't hold back. You had to push. You had to push. But now I'm pushing back. I'm pushing back. Carol and I are the only girls in this community. It's fine. No. You do not. Angela, listen to me, because this is a bannable offense. You do not oversight Georgina Floyd. You do not oversight her. That will not be allowed, permissible in this community. So I will give you this, Angela, but otherwise that's a bannable offense. And I can't ban you because I need we're short on the female population. So we need more females in the community. But that is a bannable offense regardless. So please do not do that again. Please just don't do it again. But KSI says back B Citizen Road Warrior Drake. That's from my comic, yes. Or you can go to roadwarriordrake.com, which is the quick URL to that. So let's see here. Who are the Confederates? That's the side I'm on. Who are the Confederates? Well, you guys have to decide that in the chat. I'm just saying this is a civil war now, so it's off my hands. You guys are fighting with each other, and I'm just here to document it and say I'm just here for the popcorn. So Bear says, nope, Angela is a sweetheart. Sweetie, you sleazebag. Wait, are you saying that I shouldn't have called her Carol? Because if that's what you're saying, then what are you saying about Carol, Bear? What are you saying about Carol? Wow. Oh, wow. Wait a minute. Wow. So Bear doesn't think she should be called Carol. Did you hear that, Carol? Bear thinks you're not a sweetie. Wow. Look at that. Insane. Oh, wait, did you just call Georgina a man? You do not call Georgina a man, Angela. Don't do that. Listen, we cannot have the women fighting amongst each other. They have to be unified in this community because otherwise it's going to be an imbalance. You said don't select Georgina, but you forgot Lady Shadowband. Lady Shadowband is my queen. And she's off limits. So, there you go. There you go, guys. There you go. And I will not be grilling at 4 a.m. in the morning. Trust me. I will not do that. So, let's see here. America's sweetheart. Aha! Aha! Aha, Carol. Aha! Aha!
Watch this.
4, Henry. 4. 4 confirmed chicks. 4. Oh, wait, Mango, you're lesbian. Wait, but lesbians don't count, though. Well, actually, they do, but they don't. But they do, but you're not. Look, you just identified today as lesbian, so you're clearly trying to enter their bathrooms, and it's not. We're not going to do that. You're not allowed to enter their bathrooms. At all. At all. Sorry, but damage is done. Carol's been hurt by your words, so damage is done. So now you got to explain it. So now you're backtracking. So good job. Good job, Bear. Good job. Now I'm watching the dam self-destruct and the flood hitting the town. There you go. There you go. Don't forget Hen. I like her crafting videos. Hen doesn't participate here often. She doesn't count. See, I'm only counting the ladies that participate here. That's who I talk about here. Here, in this little community, this little gated community right here. I think all women on the internet are actually dudes until I get 100% proof. I would have just getting an ID first, just to protect yourself, because unless you meet the woman in person, you shouldn't trust any chick on the internet. So there you go. Don't trust any chick that isn't your wife on the internet. It's just a safety thing. If you're a guy, that's all I got to say about that. Oh wait, we got a Bancroft raid. We got a Bogan raid. Well, shout out to the Bogans. Hail Bancroft. Hail Bancroft. Hail Michael Bancroft. Yes, we're getting a Bogan raid. Looks like. Shout out to the Bogans. Shout out to the Bogan King as we're doing Flip Fermin, and we got sidetracked because the chat is derailing my stream and they're having a civil war. But shout out to the Bogans coming in. Hail to the chat. Yes, you made it past the gates, Dale. Yes, you are in. You are in the community along with the Bogan King himself, Michael Bancroft. Shout out to Michael Bancroft. We have to keep the females divided, says Tim Olson. We're gonna have to hold off on that because the Bogans are coming in, and we need to look unified. So we have to adhere to community unita. That's how this works here. Yes, for those that just came in, we were we got 34 live viewers. Shout out to the Bogans. We were doing Flip Fermin, one of the Dutch comic artists of the underground comic scene, although he kind of overlapped into the alternative comics movement because he came in the late 70s, so he was more of a fixture in the 80s, even though his influences were creators from like the underground comics movement. But Flip Fermin was one of the only few Dutch comic artists, and as we have uncovered tonight, a lot of his work is not available. Only a few pieces of art exist. I'm sure that they can get reprinted, but there's not much of a demand, it seems. So unfortunately, you're not going to find like complete comics of his unless you really dig deep. Lady Shadowband says hit that like button. So yes, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Courtesy of Lady Shadowband. So I was gonna say Bogan Bump, but that's something else. I don't know what that. Oh yeah, that's for comic sales. Yes, this is a Bogan raid, not the Bogan Bump. So Carol says we're divided, Tim. The ones that matter are here, and DG and JL are over there, says Carol. Let's see here. Scroll down. Scrolly. Okay, I think I'm caught up now. And it's 9:42. Can I go for another 18 minutes? Probably. You know, and with the little material that we've uncovered with Flip Fermin, we were able to talk a lot. We talked about word balloons, and it was an interesting conversation about the square balloons. That doesn't seem to be used common, but we showed examples of where it was used with the early EC comics, Tales from the Crypt, and how Flip Fermin himself used it in some of his panels. So, and we got into the a little conversation about the first European comic shop that nobody in my chat wanted to talk about. Keith Koosmaker's Lambiek, the first European comic shop. Maybe I'll do a stream of that someday. Maybe I'll talk about that. I don't know, maybe I'll do it next week. Maybe I'll do a stream on the Lambiek comic shop and talk about the Dutch comic scene. Because we haven't talked much about the Dutch. We did a little bit on the French artists. We did some German artists. We did some South American artists. But maybe it's time to delve into Dutch and really look into like some of these other international comic scenes. Because I know we can learn a lot. Because if you're an indie creator and you're able to, you really should look into shipping comics overseas. And yeah, I know the shipping costs are insane. I get it. You know, I listen. I'm not going to make a profit on Beast Citizen and Roll Drake because of the shipping costs, but it's okay because I don't mind shipping my books out there because you got to look at it from a long-term perspective. There's a long-term plan happening here, and I like that people are enjoying my work and they're enjoying the stories, and it's just fun. And if you're having fun, it's going to show in the pages of your book, and people are going to want to join that, and they're going to want to be part of the fun. And if it's fun, they'll put money down for it. I remember when I last met was tall. Wait, taller than what? I've always been the same size, Mango. I'm always the same size. That comment came out of left field. That was not deserved at all. Michael Bancroft says Fractured Mind is going live. It's a prequel action book featuring Ella and Damon. Fractured Mind. There you go, guys. Fractured Mind. New indie comic that's coming out. Or it's probably out now because it is live, as I just read from Bancroft's comments. KS says, I explore you to discuss the good peoples of EC Comics. I know it became mainstream, but so did the TNMT. Just you consider. So here's the difference, KS says. Eastman and Laird, their art style would not have been accepted in the mainstream because at the time they didn't have a blockbuster hit. You know, their art style was something. This is what I mean by outlier. Like it's not mainstream standard. It's only mainstream now because Turtles became humongously big, $1 billion franchise. So something like the EC Comic, people like Joe Orlando, Joe Orlando worked with DC and Marvel, in addition to EC Comics. So DC Comics were definitely mainstream adjacent at best. They were mainstream adjacent, and their art style was mirroring the industry standards at the time. So if I did a stream on EC Comics, it wouldn't necessarily be an indie comic outlier stream, but it is a good conversation to have about EC Comics and how there isn't much tapped into the horror market in comics, especially horror anthology. I think Ed Piskor tried to do with Red Room. I only read one of the Red Room books. I haven't read the other two yet, but I plan to. But that's probably the closest that we've gotten. Although I've seen some knockoffs from like other indie creators in the cons specifically that tried to emulate the EC style and have tried to do their own horror anthology. But it's an untapped market for sure. But anyway, some people lost height with age. I'm still young, Mango. I'm still young. Henry Beeman says, talk about 70s and 80s comic shops. Kids that have no idea what it was like to deal with people who are openly hostile to their customers. Have you seen the internet? Henry, have you seen the internet? Wait, I had to read your comment twice to see that you said what you actually said. They have no idea what it was like to deal with people who are openly hostile to their customers. Have you been to these streams as of late? Have you seen how these creators talk to their customers? Have you been to Twitter? I mean, listen, it's probably a different era, sure, but still. I don't know. I mean, we should look into it for sure. I think it'd be an interesting conversation. So, yeah, absolutely. Helmut says, don't forget, over this quacking around this, we'll talk about the wonderful movie Demoni next week on okay. The name of the show, Helmut, is not Monster Monday. I already showed you guys there's a stream out there called Monster Monday. I'm not stealing their title. It's called the Communita Unita Spook Review. Communita Unita Spook Review. That's the name of the Monday streams that we do where we discuss specific horror films of yesteryear. And yes, we're going to be talking about Demoni, aka Demons, 1986, on the Communita Unita Spook Review. So, okay, I think Tuesday goes live. So there you go. Go to Michael Bancroft's website and support the Lucent Comics at thelucentcomic.com. So you go to lucentcomic.com. Creepshow is a great anthology. Yeah, Creepshow was definitely inspired by Tales from the Crypt. And it's funny because Tales from the Dark Side was inspired by Creepshow. So it's funny how it all connects there, right? Dale says, what about Ice Cream Man? I guess that's a different style. Well, if it fits the indie comic outlier thing, sure. I'm definitely open to like looking at new artist creations, things that have left an indelible mark in the history of comics that defy the mainstream. So, and it's from Image. I believe you're talking about the Image comic, right? The anthology comic. So maybe, I don't know. I have to look into that one. Now that I think about it, I gotta look into that. So okay, it says allows by autocorrect change implore to explore. Warren Comics got the closest to EC anthology horror comics. D-Boy isn't old. There you go. Not old. Imagine creators in CG been hostile towards customers. And, oh, never mind. Says Mango. Yeah, never mind. Oops. Oops. Never mind. Andrew Curry says, so people now come to YouTube for the comic shop experience. That checks out. It is part of why the comic scene is the comic shops are dying. Especially because we connect with customers and fans from overseas. So you are able to form a bigger network. But listen, as a guy myself, like when I used to go to the comic shop, I mean, there's nothing like going to your comic shop, to your local comic shop, and you see the books there on display, and you have those conversations between comic fans. They talk about like the latest issues that come out. It was its own thing, and it didn't rely on a parasocial network of people that demanded loyalty, that pushed a fake and gay rivalry with other comic creators and shops. None of that was existent in comic shops. So while that's been a benefit to online networking and building an online community, that also has its negatives too. So and sometimes you just like harken back to the days of innocence when you just go to the shop, get your book, maybe you talk to a few friends or nerds, and then you head back home. Sometimes innocence lost never returns. You can never get it back. Shall I explain the joke? I'm the official joker. Yeah, so guys, if you miss a joke and you don't get it, Henry Bemis has been anointed as the joke explainer. He's the official joke explainer, so you go to him and he'll explain the jokes. Speaking of jokes, this JD Kirby. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, give me the dismissive face, pal. Guess what? Now you're banned. So now you join Guy in his room and Elasme as banned. So guys, JD Kirby is now officially banned. So you can't reply to him. You can't acknowledge his text. He's banned. Goodbye, you're banned. There you go. See, look, this is why he's banned. This is why Guy in his room is banned, because he writes comments like this. So please do not reply to him. Guys, don't chat with Guy in his room. He's banned. He's banned. Goodbye. He's banned. There you go. Oh wait, I am behind by so and so amount of chats. Hold on. Let's see here. Shout out to the 30 people watching. Thanks for the raid. Andrew Curry says, "Can we do the Yellow Kid during Asian American Pacific Islander Month in May?" Are you talking about Quaff? Because we don't acknowledge the Quaff here. He's also banned. He's also banned. Wait, KSS is doing a poll in the chat. He says, "Should the last horror review should be renamed to Monster Mondays movie wait, okay, words are hard. Monster Mondays movie moratorium." And of course, he voted for himself. So let's see. Monster. Wait. Okay. Why am I having trouble reading this? Let me try it again. I'll try it again. Monster Mondays movie moratorium. How about the Monster movie moratorium? Why do we have to have Monday on there? How about that? How about Monster movie moratorium? I like that better. What do you guys think? Monster movie moratorium? Press 1 in the chat for that. Monster movie moratorium. No, Carrie, your vote doesn't count. Your vote doesn't count. So I said it again. Monster movie moratorium. KSS says yes, 1. Okay, so we got 1 there. Okay. Guy in his room who's banned, but he voted. He says 1. Okay, so that's 2. KSS voted again, so that's still counts as 2, but he voted again, I guess, because he's revisiting it. Osprey says that's 1. Okay. Hold on, scroll down more. Andrew Curry says 1. Osprey said voted again already. So that's a 1 by him again. But flip you, Carol. Flip you, okay? Flip you. There says 1. Lady Shout Out says, hit the like button. If you think the last best dogs are they're not gay. They're my therapy dogs. Don't you dare call them that. They're my therapy dogs.
They're gay.
They're my therapy dogs.
They're
my therapy dogs. They're therapy dogs. They might stop. Oh shit, my camera's on. Oh, there we go. Okay, never mind. That, you guys, you didn't see that? That never happened. Oh, we got a $5 super chat from Michael Deach. Thank you, Michael, for this $5 super chat. I appreciate that, my friend. He says, ever read Vamps by Vertigo back in the 90s? I like the premise of hot, sexy vampire chicks roaming the countryside or roaming the countryside. No, I haven't read those. I know of those, but I haven't read it. But I should. I'm thinking about it now. You know, Vertigo has released some very good comics. So I'm thinking if I should revisit those. That's a good recommendation, Michael. I got to look into that. Now Guy is changing his vote. He says 2. So he likes Unitah Spook Review, even though he's banned, but he likes it. So let's see here. Helmet's a 69. That is not a numbered helmet in the poll. You've totally abandoned the poll. It's not cool. That's not cool at all, Helmet. Not cool. So let's see here. Matt don't like Mondays. He don't like Mondays. He don't like Mondays because he's gonna shoot the whole day town. Listen, KSS, nobody likes Mondays. Who likes Mondays? Nobody likes Mondays. I don't think I'm behind. Can I come over when you guys have an argument? What? Why? That's exploitive, Angela. That's very exploitive. How dare you? How dare you? This is parasocial cringe. What? 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 No, it's not. I'm allowed. I am totally allowed. They're not gay, Michael. They're not gay. They're therapy. They're my happiness. Stop. Now he's voting back to 1. Make up your mind, guy in this room. Make up your mind. Make up your mind. How dare you? So
They're gay.
they're not. They're my therapy dogs. They're my happiness.
So gay.
They're my happiness. No, we're not doing mammogram. We're not doing mammogram Monday, guy in this room. You're sick. You're sick. This is why you're banned. That's why you're banned. That's why you're banned. What is all these numbers you're typing in the chat? Phone numbers, years, what is serial numbers? What are you doing? Can we review? Okay, here's a legit comment by Mango. Can we review Salieri's movies with Monica? Oh, okay, no. So I guess we may go with Monster Moratorium. No, Monster. We're not doing Monday. So Monster Moratorium review. You guys okay with that?
No.
She says no. Lady Shadowban. She doesn't like.
Because everyone liked my original suggestion, and you just want to go against it because you're so stubborn.
There's a
No,
chat.
you're yeah, I don't care.
I do
You
care.
never did a poll for me. I don't want to hear it.
There's a chat.
You didn't do a poll.
There's a YouTube channel that has Monster Mondays.
Yeah, I said you could change it a little bit.
I'm looking at Monster movie Moratorium. Sounds.
No. What you should do.
Monster movie moratorium.
Hang on.
Monster movie moratorium. That's what we're doing. No, why do you want why are you guys so hot up on the monsters on the Monday so bad? Because what happens if I stream on a Sunday? Or that's it, Carol. You're banned. Carol's banned too, so she's not. Now she joins the band. So don't reply to her. Don't acknowledge her comments. She's banned. Goodbye, Carol. Goodbye. You're banned now. That's it. You're done. Over. Done. D-U-N-E done. Banned. Yeah. Daily says, "Be right back. Gotta go outside and touch the grass." I hear that's therapeutic, Daily. Like if you actually go walk outside barefoot on grass, it does something to the body's neurological system that's very healing. I got to mow my lawn so I can do that with my yard, so I can touch the grass with my feet. So wait, Memento Mori Mondays. That actually doesn't sound so bad. Memento Mori Mondays. Memento Mori Mondays, but that doesn't say horror, but still, like it sounds very avant-garde. I don't know. So I don't know. No. See, okay, Elasme. So when you're banned, you don't get to welcome members who are banned. The band doesn't welcome the band. You're not supposed to acknowledge each other. You're banned. So you're already violating protocol. You're banned. You can't do that. You're banned. You're banned. So, and by the way, those people that are banned, like guy in his room, you're not allowed to use hashtags. That's another violation. The band cannot use hashtags. Kid says, "Why are you being so obtuse, Lazarus? You're tearing me apart." Listen, I'm trying to run a stream, and you're tearing me apart by derailing it. I've been mowing the lawn. I've been touching grass all day, damn day. There we go. Okay, well, good job. You're helping save jobs. That's good. Well, it is 10:00. Wait, Monday midnight morgue, but we don't do midnight streams. We don't do midnight streams. I don't know. So now we have a conundrum in the community regarding the title for my Monday streams. Now there's a problem, a division, and I've tried to avoid division as community, despite the best efforts by some of the racists here to divide us. I've overcome all of your attempts because I'm an activist, I'm a leader, and I believe in community unity. But you guys have now gone to war, a civil war, mind you, over the title of my Monday streams and where we're at right now. So it looks like we're gonna have to take this conversation probably Saturday. If I do a draw stream Saturday, we may have to take the conversation there about the. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe on Saturday, if I'm not doing anything Saturday evening, I'll stream a draw stream. If I'm not doing anything
Oh,
Saturday.
you're doing something.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so maybe so. Actually, Wiggle's not streaming Friday. Maybe Friday. So if nobody's streaming Friday, maybe I'll do a draw stream Friday, a boring community draw stream, and we'll tackle the horror movie stream debacle then. Wiggle is currently a DED right now, but he'll be back. He'll be back in time for the Pro Grifter tournament, so you can count on that. But he may not stream this Friday. I have it on good word. He may not stream. So, but with that note, I'm going to go ahead and call it a stream tonight. Where is Wiggle? Now the question is, when is Wiggle? Okay, so I'm going to call it a stream. I only got one super chat, but thank you, Michael Deach, for that one super chat. You are a king in a panel of, well, I won't say because I'm not a king yet. Ever. I will ever be. But I'm an activist and a leader, and a community unita activist, and a voice for the voiceless, I think. On that note, I cancel nobody. I have no power to cancel anybody. Oz Great Sage, you know this. I'm a humble punk. I can only take away your TVs and your sneakers. I have no power to cancel. I can only just rob you. Involuntarily get charitable donations by you people.